Hey friends, it's Lisa Mason Ziegler dropping in here tonight because I have something really special that I want to walk along, you guys to walk along beside me with. But before we get started, if we've never met before, I am the owner of the Gardener's Workshop, which is kind of started as this little teeny flower farm in the middle of the city about 28 years ago that has blossomed to so much more. And we just really, our whole mission is to help people get started or to expand and to grow their flower farming businesses. And we have everything from equipping you to teaching you, supporting you, walking along beside you. And if this is our first time together, I'm just glad that you're here. And we have a platform, thegardenersworkshop.com, that you can just fall into. We have blogs and podcasts and just all kind of club and a fully stocked online store, a full library of online courses for all levels. And anyway, I'm just glad you're here and appreciate it. So the reason I popped on here this evening is to tell you about one of our big school courses. And if you're not familiar with Sunny Meadow Flower Farm, owned by Steve and Gretel Adams there in Columbus, Ohio. I've known Steve and Gretel for a really long time. They are incredible flower farmers. That's their full-time position. I mean, that's what they do for their living. They employ a lot of people, and they do a really great job they've done a great job of building their business, and they're just so incredibly innovative and smart, super smart. And anyway, so I tapped them about 5 years ago to do a course for us because a big part of their business is growing in structures. Last time I checked in with them, they had 18, but one of those 18 has 3 bays. So I'm not sure how you count that. And they have unheated just covers. They have hoop houses. They have heated houses. They have like from the beginning to the end of all the different types of structures. And they are just incredibly smart and do a really great job of it. And they have teacher hearts, which means that they just are really passionate teachers, which is what I consider myself. And those are the only types of people we tapped to teach our courses. And so this time of the year, as flower farmers are laying down their clippers for the winter, perhaps if you haven't already done it, you're coming close to it. It's time that we pick up our pens and our pencils, the books, the courses, traveling to conferences, all those things that keep us innovative, and that is learning and moving forward. And that never ends, y'all. That never ends. 28 years in, and even though I guess I do know a little bit about flower farming, I still feel like I have so much to learn. And this course, which is called Growing Cut Flower Crops in Hoop and Greenhouses, is a phenomenal piece of education. And so we always do special things in the fall for our courses. You do special offers as an incentive for farmers to say, oh yeah, let me get that. Let me start, learning about that. And so we've done that with Steve and Gretel's course. This is a course that is incredibly value packed. And it's $695 normally. Well, it's I think it's 21% off or something. It's a good deal. It's a good deal at $695. Don't get me wrong. And I'm going to take you inside just to look around a little bit, is what I want to do, and show you not only the vast, just how much is in there, every question that you can have about growing in structures. And much of the information applies to people that are growing outdoors in the field, because they also do that. But the scheduling, and it's just really deep and wide. So if it's time for you to level up and expand, this is the course that can really, really lead you. And I'll tell you more about our courses after we kind of poke around in there, but I'll just give you a little bit of taste. First off, all of our courses are lifetime access, unlimited. That means you can go in and look at it as many times as you want. If you have internet and can log in, you can get inside. We have private communities for our big school courses, which this is one, which means you have lifetime access to your instructor. That means if you can't find the question answered in the course or in the lots of frequently asked questions. And the courses are keyword searchable. So that means you can keyword search for stuff. If you can't find the answer, then we tell you what the tag is to tag your instructor in your community, and Gretel will come on and answer your question. I mean, that's pretty dadgum phenomenal. You know, you don't get to go to a conference and then have access to the person that taught you something. We have really made our courses so if you can't find it in the course, then you do have access to ask that question. So, you know, just first off, you know, this course is going to walk you through choosing the perfect structure. If you haven't done that yet, you're going to extend flower production to year round if you want to. You're going to maximize optimal crop selection and rotation. Steve is, I mean, the two of them are just a perfect pair. If you've never learned from them before, Steve is the one out in the tunnels. I mean, I see they have created so many systems, y'all. I mean, they've created tools for tractors. They're so innovative that it's just so full of information. You're going to master irrigation, heating, and ventilation, and do not underestimate ventilation in greenhouses. And you'll learn how to ensure crop vitality. And that means pests, weeds, and diseases. And they were so smart. The course has 6 classes. And the last class is the one that's on pests, weeds, and diseases, because they knew how overwhelming it would be. And they were really wanted to get you in and get you on board and get you going. And then because so many people will start growing in houses, and for maybe a couple of years, you don't have any issues, but then it happens. So with that said, I am going to share my screen and I'm going to go over and pick up their course. All right. So when you when you log on to your online library, this is where it's going to actually dump you. This is inside the course that's inside your online library. And so where we always recommend you start is at the welcome. That just kind of gives you a little bit of the lay of the land and what's going on. And so I'm just going to kind of go around the course first, and then I'm going to jump in to one of the sessions and we'll watch it for a couple of minutes. So this is inside your library. So here's your syllabus, which is the outline of the course, right? This is where you enter your private Facebook student community. And I'm going to talk to you about that a little bit too, because that is such an incredible networking support system. And that's where you get questions answered with Gretel and Steve if you can't find them in the class. So here is week 1, which is class 1. Each class has handouts. It's right at the head of the class. You can go in and print out all your handouts at once and then look at all of these topics. So I guess what I want to do first is I want to just tell you what the 6 different headings are before we get all caught up looking at these sessions. So week 1, class 1 is about different types of structures, and they really go into the location of where you should put it, the deconstruction. You know, if you ever buy a hoop house from somebody, a used one, you want to be the person to go take that hoop house down so you'll know how to take it home and put it back up. They talk about deconstruction and construction. Then in class 2, I could scroll a little bit here, y'all. Here's class 2, and that's creating a successful plan of action. And that's really about crop planting and seed outlets and just seed starting. It's really a lot of a big picture stuff, and we'll go back and look at that. Class 3 is talking about what are you going to have blooming in the spring, both in a heated house and unheated houses. So this is for both. And then what about summer and fall? And this is where, you know, they go into those different crops, which we'll look at those in just a moment. Week 5, which is class 5, is caring for the plant's environment. This is about, you know, ventilation, irrigation, bed prepping, netting, cover cropping, you know, just the whole, and sanitation, which I mean, they have had so much experience with all of this. And then week 6 or class 6 is pest, disease, and soil management. This is an all-inclusive class on growing in structure. So let's go back up here and just kind of peruse this a little bit. You know, they do low tunnels, caterpillar tunnels, hoop houses, high tunnels, hoopsties, heated houses with gutter connections. They have multi-bay actual structures. And then there's just all kinds of stuff. You know, your ventilation, automation, utilities available, you know, and they'll tell you in this class, they have put houses in the wrong places. They've put them in the almost right places. And I mean, they have a lot of experience over when and where. I mean, I see people asking questions on social media about, I've bought a house. Now I can't figure out where to put it. Friends, you got to know where to put it probably before you buy the house. And then what type of house and where to buy. They give you resources for all of this stuff. And then they go through construction tips. And then there's also multiple Q&As in here and all of the frequently asked questions. The whole course is keyword searchable. And I'll take you back in a moment and look at the keyword search syllabus where you can find anything, friends. You can go right to it. Week 2 is that plan of action. I mean, this is where you're talking about crop decisions, planning, projections, budgeting, scheduling, you know, where are you going to sell and a pricing. And I tell you, that's one of Gretel's real gifts is this whole enterprise budgets. She really gives you a look into that for those people that, I mean, this is deep, the enterprise budgets. But she really whets your taste for how you can get more data if that's where you are and what you want. And then there's seed starting, recording, propagation. I mean, they really cover everything. And you have access to this syllabus on their sales page. And then when we go into week 3 or class 3, that's where you're talking about what are you going to have blooming in the spring? Ordering and sourcing ranunculus growing, anemones, pre-chilled tulips, snapdragons, stock, dusty miller, poppies, delphiniums, sweet peas. I mean, y'all, they grow the high value crops in these houses and just really teach you what you should and shouldn't, and then how to actually do it. Then for summer, lisianthus, lilies, eucalyptus, which we're going to come back and watch the beginning of the eucalyptus session, heirloom chrysanthemums, dahlias, past frost flowers, right? And then it's all about the plant's environment. This is where you're going to look at setting up your seed starting house, bed prep, water, irrigation, netting, dealing with the elements, maintenance, and ventilation. And, you know, this is also overwhelming. I can only imagine for somebody that was thinking about getting a house. But let me tell you what is absolutely phenomenal about online courses, which is what I have found. I've been taking online courses now for about 9 years, is that you get to go back and revisit. Okay, you get to go in and figure out what kind of house do I want? Where am I putting it? And then you go through all those steps, your utilities and all that stuff. Then you go back to the course and you rewatch the putting it up, you know, and you're going to see things that you never saw the first time you watched it. And this is such a comprehensive course that it is phenomenal the way it is set up in like an encyclopedia style, that it will just walk you through this whole step by step of going from beginning to success or to hit and reset because you've already started and maybe you're having troubles, right? So this talks about many different types of diseases, pests, and pest management, scouting, beneficial insects, spraying with organic pesticides, soil tests and amendments. Y'all, this is everything. Soil steaming. I mean, Steve talks about his walk with that. And then we have the wrap-ups and some additional Q&As, and all of those are what we call the frequently asked questions. And all of it is actually keyword search. So I want to take you up here. I thought we would go into class 5. Down here, it's not class 5. It is where's my paper? Class 4. To the eucalyptus class. So you click on one and up comes a video. Down below the video, there's handouts if there's a handout for that particular class. And I'm going to tell you all a little secret about watching online courses that I do. It's up to you. I watch all online courses at fast forward speeds. I watch it at twice. This just helps you to digest a lot more energy, a lot more information. But I'm going to actually, and see, you do it right down here under settings. I'm going to speed this up to 1.5 and let you see that you can still clearly understand, but you get through the information quicker. So I am going to actually click the start, and then I'm going to hit this, make it big.
Eucalyptus is something we get asked a lot of questions about because it doesn't seem like it should grow in Ohio. It is going to grow like more of an annual here. We have tried to overwinter some of it, but it's not always successful. So I'm just going to take you through our process of how we grow it and the things that we do to make it possible. So this one pictured here is Eucalyptus baby blue. So if you see it coming from like California or places where it does perennialize, typically it is more woody and the stems are more upright. Ours is a little bit more loose and kind of whimsical looking, which is good for if you're using it fresh. If you're trying to dry it, then those more turgid stems are actually nice for that. So it kind of depends on the use of what you're trying to do. But we sell this baby blue. We sell a ton of it. It's the one that we plant the most of. So we also grow gunny eucalyptus is what florists call it. But if you're buying it by the plug or for seeds, it's called silver drop. And then there's another one called Eucalyptus polyanthemus, which is a silver dollar eucalyptus. And all of them are usable by the florist. Our eucalyptus is more fresh, so it's not as good for like installation stuff and being out of water. So we just have to make sure that that's something that the florists are educated on. Like those new growth tips are a little bit too soft for some of the uses that they would typically use eucalyptus for. This is a starting eucalyptus from seed. So we seed eucalyptus in 1/28 with like a couple seeds per cell, and then cover the seed with soil. So some years we've had terrible germination, some years it's been really good. Using that heated bench has really improved our germination. And then we do several seedings. You can see in this picture here that says week 45, we've decided that's too early. The reason why we started them so early is because we weren't sure we were going to get good germination, and we wanted to see if we needed to order plugs to fill in our production. So you can see here that it got really good germ, and so we didn't need to order in plugs. But so we decided to push it back because otherwise you have to pot it up and like care for it all winter. So this year the plan is to start them week 3 in a heated space. So if you don't have a heated space that you can start them in that early, you can buy in plugs. So the plugs are available from any of the plug producers that we talked about from the Lizzie production. And so typically we'll just add them on to one of those orders. And
so friends, that's just one little example of what the type of information that's in this class, right? And I wanted to show you another of the classes. Let me go back. And then I wanted you to see a little piece in class 2 about planning and scheduling. And then I'm just going to bump this up to where I wanted to show you a little bit.
So we always say you find out how close is too close by planting them that close. So we once planted Dusty too close and had some issues with botrytis. And so you still need space for airflow. And we're going to go through crop by crop and talk about the spacing that we use based on the things that we've learned. So there's something like stock in the photo. That's a crop that we put 2 per hole, especially because you're only getting 1 cut per plant. So if you think about a ranunculus where you might get 5 or so cuts per plant, the amount of money that you're going to make from that space, the ranunculus are planted 1 per hole, is a lot more than if you're only going to get 1 stem of stock from that hole. So we do plant things multiple, and so we'll seed them that way also. When we're seeding the trays, we'll seed 2 seeds per cell or 3 seeds per cell for the snaps. There are some things that we have, like a weird checkerboard pattern that we've created, basically so that we can cram more stuff in. So things like the disbud mums and the delphiniums, we have like a checkerboard, which we'll talk about in the future, but just thinking about how much you can fit in there. And I think that that's probably another reason why zinnias maybe wouldn't be a good candidate as far as like cramming as many plants in there as you can. We do plant dahlias in the tunnels, and that's something that, is only 2 row in the beds, but you're getting multiple cuts off of them, so that hopefully they're taking up more space, but you're making more money off of that plant for the number of cuts that you get.
So they just really give you I can't even explain to you the depth of the information that's in here. And so one of the things that we've done with our courses over the last 2 years, we took 1 full year of one person that did nothing but review all the courses and made them keyword searchable. And it's pretty phenomenal. That means that if you're looking for ranunculus, you just put that in the keyword in the search bar, and it brings up everywhere in that course where ranunculus is actually mentioned. And why I'm bringing this up is what we're learning from our students, and we have thousands of students, is that, yeah, it's great when you first get the course to just plow through it. And then, we really recommend you review it every year. You will not believe how much you learned the second year that you didn't even realize you missed the first year. But it's to use them as a tool, to use this keyword searchable to just go in and be able to find the information you need at the moment you actually need it. So I want to just tell you a little bit more about the course and the way that our courses work. When you purchase a course from us, you get immediate full access. That means you hit the button to buy it and give us about 10 minutes and you'll have an email in your inbox. And if you already have courses with us and you purchased this one with the same email, it'll be in the library with all your other courses. But if you're new to us, then you'll have to set up a login, and we give you all the step-by-step pieces of that. And we will, you log into your library and everything is right there. And one of the things that I recommend to my students in my courses, and I think it's beneficial, particularly Steve Gretel's is like Dave Dowling's course. There is a lot of information and handouts. I tell my students, print everything out. And if you can't print it, if you don't have a printer, or if you want to print in color and you just don't have color on your printer, you can actually download those PDFs onto a stick and take it to like a Kinko's or a FedEx store somewhere, and they'll make a booklet out of it for you if you wanted to do that, which may be really, really helpful to people. But why I like to do that is to have the handouts as you go through the courses to write notes on and things is just really, really helpful. And I find that printing out the keyword search syllabus, which in this class is 41 pages long, you can just go right to the class and you can just search it almost better than a computer. I feel that way sometimes. So you get immediate, unlimited access to the full course. And so that means you can watch it as many times as possible. When you go to the sales page, and I guess I should bring that up. I didn't even bring that up. You have unlimited lifetime access. The course also, as you may have seen in the syllabus, comes with a private Facebook student-only community. And this is where Gretel and Steve's students are only. And that means you can go in there, you're amongst other students, and we give you the tag to tag your instructor, and we have a person that actually swims those courses to make sure if you tag that the instructors see it and get to answer your question. We feel really great about our courses, that you have access to ask the instructors questions even after the course is long over, after you have them next year and the year even after that. And we also offer a 7-day no risk guarantee, money back guarantee, y'all. That means, because we know you're going to love the course, you're going to go in and find there is so much information you could never remember it all. You need to have it to be your reference tool. That's the point of all of this. We have really tried to make it to be like your database, where you just go in and look up for that information. They include resources of where to buy stuff, from ranunculus to greenhouses, all of that. And they talk about how when they had disease problems and pest issues, how they handle and reach out about those things. It's just every level. And the students at the bottom of the sales page, where this link actually takes you, if you go to the bottom of the page, and I meant to actually go over and look at that, there's testimonials, and there's a video at the bottom about what customers are saying. And I invite you to reach out on social media to people and say, hey, does anybody know about this course? Do you have any experience with it? We'd love for you to do that. We're proud of the content, the completeness of our courses. As I tell people, we spill the beans. There is no holding back. And we really, Steve and Gretel really feel the same way that I do. So many people helped us and led us along the journey that we've taken to build what we've built, that we want to give it back as much as we can. And these comprehensive courses really do that. So the money back guarantee, 7 days. Within 7 days of your purchase, if you reach out via email and just say, you know what, this isn't for me, no questions asked, we will refund. So that means it's really no risk to you. And I just can't stop thinking about and wondering about just the vast value in having it to be keyword searchable. And I'm sorry, y'all, I was just thinking about, the winter time. If you are thinking about getting a greenhouse structure, I 100% recommend to you that you get the course before you make any plans, before you purchase, before you take any steps. The savings that you will experience from misstepping for mistakes is pretty phenomenal. More in this class than any other school that we have, because it's such an investment, right? So I just invite you, the special offer is available through Friday, November, what day is that? 15th. That's Friday at 12 midnight. The course is normally $695. It is on special offer for $550, which that's even a better deal. If you're already own some of our other courses, you may know that you get a family discount. We give a promotion code to people that have our courses for $50 off our big schools. This deal is $100 better than that. And this is just our way of reaching out and telling people now's the time to get busy. And we just don't want people to miss the opportunity, particularly if you're on the cusp of adding, whether it's a unheated or heated house. There's just so much useful information in here. So friends, I just can't recommend this course enough. If you've got your flower farm up and running, you're thinking about a house, this is your next step, if that is you. I can't have houses where I am. My city will not allow it. And I was just going to look through the syllabus here. They go through the crops: Lysianthus, lilies, eucalyptus and begonias, heirloom chrysanthemums, dahlias, early and late, and post-frost flowers. I think what I took away when I watched this course initially was you will leave with no questions. It's going to blow the myths and fill in the blanks for you. And so, friends, I'm just going to invite you to go over to the sales page and check it out and read more about it. And by all means, follow Gretel and Steve on social media. They post some very interesting reels. They show Steve has been very innovative in creating implements for them to use planters that are used in vegetables for something else and turn them into tulip, because they plant tens of thousands of tulips. How they plant those. It's so much. It'll really give you a view of the types of things on whatever level you're on, just beginning or experienced. They can take you from the beginning right up through the end. And then, like we talked about, the pests, the disease, and the weeds, which weeds definitely grow in greenhouses and hoop houses, y'all. So friends, I appreciate you joining me here tonight. So I just invite you to check out the course page. And if you're going to strike, if this course is something that's in your future, now's the time to strike. It's just you save $150. And can't recommend it enough. And so how much land do you need? Well, that really depends on what you're talking about doing, Crescent. And, that is something that definitely there are, your house size has to obviously fit on your property. But there's like, for instance, I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with Mima, who is Urban Buds. It's in the middle of the city of St. Louis, who is literally farming on city lots, and she's bought multiple lots. They have houses. They have houses that fit their property. They get houses to fit on their property. So anything is possible. And I just appreciate y'all being here. And I just didn't want anybody to not have a look inside the course to see the vast width of the different subject matters: flowers, planting, building, maintenance, all the bits and pieces that you need. So friends, if that's, we're just going to call that a wrap for tonight. And I just hope that Steve and Gretel see you inside the course. Till we meet again, friends. Ciao.